wondering.
No, because
He's good at fighting games. He beats me in most of them. So.
I just know how to combo. I accidentally combo. I'm like Domino.
You're a button masher is what you're saying, which is fine. It's a valid way of playing.
Well, not even button mashing. Like I try.
Then how do you accidentally combo?
I don't know. I guess by button mashing.
I'm fine with button mashing. Just admit you button mash. If you lie about button mashing, then I get upset.
When there's more than
it's a valid strategy. It's how I play.
When there's more than 2 buttons for attacking, then yes. But like for like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, because there's only 2 buttons where it's X and Y.
It's a different kind of fighting game.
Yeah.
It's an arena fighter.
Yeah, 3D arena.
As opposed to like a
ability
2D side fighter like Mortal Kombat or
like traditional fighting games.
Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure there's an actual name for them. Probably just fighting games.
Yeah,
2D fighters probably.
2D arcade fighters. Yeah. I like the ones where like it transitions between like 2D, like the 2D and then 3D. So like
2.5D.
Yeah. Well, not even like 2.5D. Like it's a full transition.
Okay.
Like Pokken, it starts in like 2D,
and then he's definitely talking about Pokken.
I think the new Tekken game's like that too.
Well,
like
yeah,
you start 2D.
That would make sense because Pokken and Tekken are made by the same people, right?
So
that's why it's called Pokken.
How much do those cost? Going back to what you want.
An arcade.
Depends on which ones you're looking at. Because I'm looking at Razors, because they have a special Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
$250.
$270.
Oh, that was close.
But it has button mapping on it too, and you can use it on PC.
Okay.
So, but it's Razer.
Razer expensive.
I love Razer. I actually like contemplating on buying the Razer phone, like when it came out. But at the same time, it's like, I don't play games on my phone that much.
Yeah.
At least one that needs a processor that powerful.
Yeah.
They have a really nice screen on that one. It's like was it 60 hertz or was it more than that? I forget.
I think on the first one it was 60 hertz, but the Razer Phone 2, I believe they pumped it up to 90? I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot to me. For a phone, at least. That's crazy.
Yeah. And unfortunately, with like the Razer phone, you can't get it through like phone providers. You actually have to buy it from Razer, and then they ship it to you. So the phone comes unlocked, regardless.
Okay.
So. But yeah.
How's your week, man?
I was sick a lot.
I hear you.
That sucks.
It's just that time of year again where it's like you have the weird like weather transition and it's like, okay.
It's just catching your body off guard and you're like easier to get sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. I'm just getting my voice back finally. Well, kind of.
I luckily had a okay week. It was slow, but not too bad. Ready to talk about some nerdy stuff with you guys?
Well, then let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome to SquareTableWeekly. Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
You're doing great, buddy.
So, Matt, what should we start with this week?
We should start with what we start with every week. You
Introducing ourselves?
pathetic weasel. I mean, we do that every week. Maybe they know us by now.
Oh,
should we just still Should we still introduce ourselves every time? Probably.
Yeah.
We might have new fans. Who knows?
Yeah.
New fans.
You're welcome here. We welcome new fans. Don't disregard that tone of voice. With sarcasm. Hello, my name is Trenton.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Nick. And we are sitting around a square table.
Okay.
A little too meta.
We're gonna have to restart.
No, I already have the table topic in my hand.
Spoilers. What's the table topic?
Today's table topic is...
I'm sick and tired, so that's why I'm this way.
I don't know how relevant this is to everybody, but how many comic books do you own?
None. Actually, that's not true. I think I own like 4 because I got them in loot crates.
Huh.
But I haven't read any of them.
Does manga count?
Yes.
Okay, then I have a couple. When I mean a couple, I have like 5 or 6.
Oh.
So I have a pretty small. I don't have too much physical media nowadays.
Yeah, I read basically everything on my phone. I don't own any manga, but I found a website where I read it all.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough.
What about you, Nick? Do you have any comic books or manga? Or
I have well over 120 Sonic the Hedgehog comics sitting in a box right now at home.
You're the worst.
Along with a few... I'm trying to think what else I had for comic books. A few Superman, Batman ones. I think that was it for actual comic books. And then manga. I have a wall full of manga.
yeah, makes sense.
I'm basically caught up on Pokemon Adventures, and that series itself is, 100
Different
books?
books.
And then the Naruto series, I'm basically caught up on the manga for that, for up to Shippuden. I have a few for like Attack on Titan, the Legend of Zelda ones. Just trying to think what else. I have 3/4 of Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, I have a lot. Maybe too much, but I love reading.
That's good.
I'm trying to think. I have like 1 Orphan Black comic. Haven't read it. I have 1 Bravest Warriors comic. Because these are all stuff I got in loot crates.
Yeah.
So
I
when I was subscribing, so I think I have like 3 or 4, but I don't know what they all are, and I haven't read any of them.
I do have. Now that I think about it, I do have. They're not necessarily comics. Like they're not like a single issue. I have more of a. It's a bigger book. One
Like a comics anthology.
Kind of, except they're like smaller part. They're not like whole. Story. Whole stories in one. I don't know.
Okay.
I have one on like Deadpool. He ends
Just
up
like Deadpool's greatest hits in comics or something like that? That kind
part
of
of the
idea?
story.
Or...
There's a story to it. Part of the
okay.
story is he's fighting the undead presidents.
Yes, I have that one. It's like
Okay.
big book, right?
It's not super thick because it's
Right.
like I think it's part 1 out of like 3 or something.
4,
like 3 or 4, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
that as well.
and I have one set in the DC universe. I forget what it's called, but it's pretty interesting because it's like a sort of a murder mystery solving. Someone dies.
Is it like a random person, or is it like a superhero that we'd know?
One of the heroes dies.
No, but like, who's it about? Like, who's the main character? Is it like Batman, or is it just like someone not as well known? Or...
The one that dies, at least to me, wasn't well known. It's like Stretch Man or whatever it is. Like it.
Plastic Man or
Plastic Man?
Elastic Man? Elongated Man?
One. I don't
One
know.
of those.
I don't know.
I don't know if Elastic Man is one.
He dies, and
No.
and everybody's like a large cast of DC characters are pretty devastated, and so and then there's like there's big investigation.
Stretch Armstrong?
And they try to figure out who did it, and there's tension, and it's pretty great. It's
What
like
color is the dead man's
I
costume?
forget.
Is it red or blue?
I think it's blue.
So Elongated Man.
Yeah, because
probably
Plastic
then.
Man's red.
Yeah.
He looks like Elvis Presley.
Yep.
Okay, so it's that one, and those are the two more
E.L. O'Reilly.
comic book of the side of things that I have.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at pictures on my phone of what I have for manga and comics. Well, manga, because I buy them. I have the full Scott Pilgrim series. I guess that's graphic novel, actually.
Still, I think that would count.
That's
enough.
6 of them. And I
If
have
we're including
yeah.
manga in
Yeah.
with comics, and I think graphic novels also.
Okay.
Manga.
I have the full Death Note series, the whole manga of that, and then I have StarCraft manga. Well, sorry, not manga. Graphic novels. It's about the Ghost Corps, if I remember correctly. I haven't read it yet, but I bought the whole. It's 3 books, so it's It's a nice, easy read, but I have that too. I don't remember, to be honest.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That was the table topic question that we had. So,
So, next up is Build a Game, where we all come up with ideas for games and just think about our ideal game with that. And then every week we add a little bit on. This week it's Composer.
yeah, composer.
So who do we want
Doing the
writing the music?
Doing all the music stuff. Writing it.
I have a lot. As bad as that sounds.
You have a lot?
I have a lot.
I will start. I have probably
Yeah.
the simplest and shortest answer. Then I can give you guys more of the sharing time. The composer I would like for my game, which was the steampunk World War II aesthetic shooter, I'd go with Mick Gordon, who did the newer Wolfenstein games and
Appropriate.
also Doom 2016.
That's the new one, right?
Yeah. So
I
I think
2016 is the one with the 1980s graphics.
Yeah. Wait. Wasn't there like a DLC for that? I don't know. I haven't played it.
well, the Doom 2016 soundtrack is one of my favorite
Pretty
soundtracks
dope.
in all of gaming. It's really good at it's good for the game. So, anyways, he has what I like about him is he has some good range of different stuff. So I thought that'd help in bringing my game to life. Anyways, that's my choice.
Okay.
Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go next. So I have quite a few. Because, again, it's going to depend where you are in the universe of what your soundtrack's going to be. But I guess for the overall game soundtrack, it's going to be Derek Duke, Glenn Stafford, Neil Acree, and Russell Brower. And those are the guys that did the StarCraft 2 soundtrack. So for the Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, and... what's the last one? Legacy of the Void. So they did the soundtrack for all three of the expansions. So they're just going to do the overall soundtrack for the game because it's very spacey in my opinion. So that's kind of why I want it, because just going back, my game's the awesome real-time strategy role-playing game mashup in space. Kind of high fantasy, I guess. So I have those guys in there for that. Because there's pirates and stuff, there's going to be cantinas, taverns, bars. So I was like, okay, for that, let's throw in an interesting composer. Well, composer. So I have Pegboard Nerds and Hatsune Miku for pub music. Because why not? And space clubs.
You're really delegating a lot of stuff to different people in this one.
Oh yeah.
You liked the concept of having okay, these guys will be the overarching theme, but with these little projects here, I'll give them out.
Yeah.
Kinds of other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a few more. So for intense what are they called? Battle sequences in the RPG format. I have Jeff Williams. So he's the guy who did the soundtrack for Ruby. So it's a lot of kind of rock hits, which I like. I find that when there's lots of combat.
Are you worried about how it'll all sound together?
Not really.
Because I feel when you have this many people working on music, each section of the game is going to feel very different, and it's not going to feel like one unified game. Are you going to have one person be the head composer that'll kind of direct people, this is what you could do to make it, this is what we're looking for, do something along these lines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for each section.
Yeah.
Who would that be? Would that be one of the composers, or would you have a guy who knows nothing about music being hey?
I don't know.
Who's composing the biggest part of the game?
That would be.
Is that the guys from StarCraft?
That's the StarCraft guys. Yeah.
And whoever's
that's 4 guys.
there's probably there's probably like a head composer of the 4 guys, right?
I think that's Derek Duke.
So would you put him in charge of the whole project and have all those other parts?
Yeah, I would definitely
report
have
to
a
him
head,
essentially like that.
a head guy.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So.
You gotta kind of...
Because that's a lot of people you're using, and if they're not all on the same page, it's going to be insane.
It could feel pretty
it
scatterbrained
Yeah.
in its audio or in its musical theming. So.
It can work. You just have to make sure they're all on the same page.
And that's my only issue with like going to like having like different planets and everything. Because my last one for like elfin planets, because like when you think of elves, you think okay, more naturistic, soft music. I had Lindsay Sterling, because she does really great violin work and string work. So I was like, okay, have something like that. But like as you said, like having it like all tied together, it's kind of hard. It will be hard to do, but like it is possible.
Also, hiring like 20 composers will definitely put your costs through the roof.
That's why it's
and they're all relatively well known.
That's why it's Ubisoft doing it.
Okay,
they got money, right, guys?
I think so.
So
I don't do the research on company net worth, so I don't know. But
I think
as far as I know, they're doing pretty well.
If I remember correctly, with Activision being number 1. I think. I know Activision, EA, they're in the top 3.
So what are we specifically the
top 5, or I guess top grossing video game companies, I guess.
Activision is definitely the grossest.
I was gonna say EA's the grossest.
But that doesn't work with the order they're in if Activision is the top grossing one.
Yeah, that's true.
I made this joke last week, I'm pretty sure.
So you want... Are you counting things like the big 3? Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo?
No.
Okay. So
like
because
publishers, video game publishers. Well, I guess... Because they make their own.
They make their own games, and the list I have here includes them for their games only. But
I wouldn't include them just because they do make the consoles too.
Okay, so well, these numbers are games only.
Oh, okay.
Not by their consoles as well.
Then...
So if we're including those guys, it's Sony at the top, Microsoft, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Sony with 16 billion, Microsoft 10. Nintendo with almost 10. Then we have Activision Blizzard at 7.2 billion. EA with 5.2. Tencent Game at 4.4. Bandai Namco at 3.6. Square Enix, let's load some more because they're fading off.
So Ubisoft isn't in the top 5. Top 10.
Ubisoft is... So anyways, 8 was Square Enix at 2.2 billion. 9 was Ubisoft at 2 billion. And then 10, just to round it out, is Take-Two Interactive. So that's like Rockstar and stuff.
Right. Okay. So they are up there. So they have a budget. Why not? I mean, yeah. Why not?
Well, you're saying why not? I can tell you why not. Because now 90% of your budget is on hiring composers.
Okay, but...
Not 90%, but a lot of your budget.
Yeah. But
like, I do realize this is an ideal game, so...
Yeah.
We're saying money's no object in this, but it's just, that's a lot of composers.
If you think about how big the game is, like... if you look back at my voice actors, like, I'm getting, like, literally, like, top of the list voice actors for this. Like...
I mean, we all are.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Again, money's no object in this fantasy world of build a game, so...
That's true. But yeah, this...
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
This game would probably take well over 10 years to make.
Yeah. And then by the time it's done, you're going to have to do a graphical overhaul to make it work with the latest technology, which will take another 10 years, and the game will never come out because you're just constantly trying to keep up with technology that's coming out.
Yeah.
What about you, Matt? What's your composer?
I have 2 composers because I really wanted both of them. So my favorite composer of basically all time is Trevor Morris. He's the guy who did the composing for Dragon Age Inquisition.
Okay.
And he's done... There was another one that I read, but I don't remember what it was that was interesting because it was a game you were a fan of, but I can't remember what it was, so I'm sorry about that.
Assassin's Creed?
No. Don't guess because I'm not going to remember it probably.
Okay.
So he's the guy who did Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't think he did the other Dragon Age games though. And the other guy is Klaus Badelt, who did the soundtrack for Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, because he did a very good job of piratey.
That makes sense.
And because my game is this pirate high fantasy adventure
I like
RPG, I thought, why not get the composer from one of my favorite pirate movies and the composer from my favorite RPG game and have them make beautiful music.
So would you allow them both to sort of have equal control over this, or
I would like both of them to
Collaborate?
work together on basically all the music. Obviously, there would be some parts where they each have music that they've made on their own. But I think for like the main theme especially, have them work together because the main theme of Dragon Age Inquisition is so good, and so is the main theme of Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, they're just
very iconic?
very...
At least I can speak to
Pirates of the
Pirates.
Caribbean, I don't know how much of Inquisition either of you have played. I'm going to say none other than the multiplayer. For you, Nick, and Trenton, I don't think you played any of it at all.
I haven't played any of it.
But yeah,
That's gonna change soon.
he's done Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 he did the music of.
Oh, okay.
Which is the one that I thought you would be more interested in.
That makes sense.
Army of Two.
Which one?
Army of Two,
Oh,
the first one.
I haven't played the first one. I've only played the Death
Command
Star.
and Conquer 3, Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath, and Need for Speed Carbon, which
I have played that.
I really enjoyed. He's also done a lot of television, Iron Fist,
I haven't watched it yet.
Marvel, Castlevania movie or TV show.
Oh, actually. I haven't watched
Yeah,
that.
he's done. Let's see if there's anything else that movies he's done. The Marine 2.
Okay, yeah.
So he's worked with WWE, I guess. Yeah, WWE films.
This is all pretty awesome. You got this guy to be connected to your love of WWE. I was not expecting that.
So-
Me neither, if I'm honest. I only looked like his video game stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
But
hilarious.
he's done a lot of stuff, actually.
Yeah, that's a big list.
That's just the TV stuff. He also has this list of movies, TV. Video game is definitely the smallest list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, like, a
He's
very
done some good work.
respective...
That's
like,
Trevor Morris.
Trevor Morris.
If we look at Klaus Badelt, I looked that up to make sure that they weren't associated with anything that I didn't want to be associated with. Gladiator.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He did Extreme Days. What? Oh, I watched that movie so many times as a kid.
Okay, I don't know that movie.
Oh, it's just a weird, like, sports movie, comedy romance. It's weird. What other parts of the Caribbean? Curse of Black Pearl. Like, I mean, yeah, Hans Zimmer did that as well, but Hans Zimmer, like, I like Hans Zimmer, but I feel like I wanted someone not as well known as that. Although this guy, he's done a lot of stuff.
I see Constantine on
He
the
did
list.
TMNT.
Which one's that? The
Animated one from 2007, which I loved. He's done a bunch of other stuff. Asterix and Obelix, God Save Britannia. Oh no.
Oh no.
Halo Nightfall.
Interesting.
So
Which one was that? Was that the
I think that's
the animated movie?
It's a
I don't think so.
Series, either a series or a short. something.
Halo digital feature alongside 343. It doesn't really say.
Because it's not a game.
It was announced at E3 2014 that the feature titled Halo Nightfall would be included with Halo Master Chief Collection at its November 2014 launch. New introduction to a new character, Agent Jameson Locke.
Oh, right, because it's the one that they used to introduce Locke for Halo 5.
There we go.
It's when he's
that's
an
what it is.
ONI agent before.
Because
Because
it's
Locke
not
is one of the
it's not a
Spartans
game.
portrayed on the cover art of Halo 5 Guardians and is said to play a large role in the series.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the origin story of him.
Oh, okay. So it is like an animated short then.
Klaus
Or
put
it
out
could be
the music for it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what it is. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Those are
I
Too-
thought they
too
would be very
well-versed.
appropriate for a pirate RPG.
yes. I think so.
One guy's pirate, one guy's RPG. So put them together and you get
Pirate RPG.
hopefully good.
Hopefully.
They're both very talented. So
Yeah.
but yeah, that's that.
That was our build of the game.
Nice and short one.
Next up is news. Yeah, with
Me
from Trenton with Trenton against Trenton.
Along Trenton.
by Trenton. Anyways, so gaming news. So
In
we got
the distance, but not too far away from Trenton.
okay. So I got a few. I got slightly smaller topics or an amount of topics, but they're all pretty
Big items.
big items that we can talk about.
Right.
So the first one is this last week, Jedi Fallen Order was announced. And revealed.
Like officially announced, right?
Yeah.
Because there've been
Well,
things flying around about that
They've
for a while.
actually had the name out. They said and they're working on it, but this was the first time they showed stuff, as in like a trailer and talked a bit more about details about the game. So, have you guys heard anything
Yet. All I know is that there's no gameplay.
shown yet?
Just the trailer and
I'm kind of looking
art.
forward to it as it gets closer and more stuff gets released. We'll see how excited I actually am for it. Because what they released, most games tend to use just the same person, like a basic character to kind of represent the main character, unless it's the actual main character. So I'm hoping that this is a basic character and you can customize your character, but we'll see.
yeah.
It's Star Wars, so I'm still a relatively big fan, but
This is
without
EA,
custom characters, I'm a little hesitant.
and this is EA. So I would strongly advise caution. As much as this sounds like a really good turn, they've completely stated that there's no microtransactions or loot boxes.
Didn't they state
and-
that for Battlefront 2?
No,
No?
I don't
they did
remember.
not state that for Battlefront 2.
I feel like they said there was something about no microtransactions or something for a game they
No.
put
They-
out at some point. But
They said back then there was no season pass, and all the content coming after release was going to be free.
Yeah.
They did not say anything about.
Which is what they've been doing with a lot of their games, to be honest. So I'm really happy about that. But anyways,
Yeah.
Yeah, so and they said they're not going to add them in. So those are good signs, but I wouldn't jump on the pre-order train until
yeah,
like a lot more
Yeah.
definitive. At least for me, I probably won't buy it day one.
I'm not pre-ordering it because it's EA and they've been ruining BioWare for me.
yeah. But again, this is Respawn that's doing it, not BioWare. So,
Which is also a strike against it because BioWare's my favorite.
yeah.
but EA's been ruining BioWare, so who's to say they're not ruining Respawn?
But here's the thing, like with Respawn, you look at what they've last put out, which was what, Apex Legends.
Yep,
How well did that game do? Like literally,
very
it went
very
from,
well.
For a free to play game being like, what is it, like the
Okay.
most played free to play
It-
game now?
It literally
Was that with
literally-
EA?
It literally changed the course of EA's stock for a while.
Yeah.
Stock was plummeting, and that game came out,
Yeah.
and it had no big like advertising push or campaign.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things they said at the beginning is EA did not touch this game.
Yeah.
Yes, there's loot boxes in, but EA did not touch this game.
But hey, the game's free and it's done by
But also,
Titanfall
if you
people.
look at the past couple games that BioWare has put out, Dragon Age Inquisition was great. Mass Effect Andromeda, not so much. Anthem, that was literally a gravedigger.
Yeah. I kind of regret.
I say literally, I didn't mean literally, it just kind of came out.
I kind of
Sorry.
regret buying
Yeah,
Anthem.
I regret buying Anthem at this point.
Yeah. Like, I'll still play it, but it's like, I don't know.
It's, yeah. Ugh. Anyway,
But-
to get back onto...
But at the same time, but that was BioWare. EA was pushing BioWare. I feel like Respawn has more
But now if
control over their games.
But now if EA is deciding to push Respawn, what's to say that they won't try to take more control?
Okay,
I
so
don't know.
from my perspective, and this is what
I'm holding out hope. I'm not expecting amazing.
Yeah. From my perspective on this part, what I've heard, and I agree with this sort of sentiment, Respawn is still very new in the acquisition of it. It's only been so many years, and they've only made so many games, versus BioWare, who's been part of EA for a lot longer. And knowing EA's tendency to buy a company, milk it till it's dry, and then kill it, Respawn has a lot more time than, unfortunately, BioWare, if we're looking strictly from that perspective. Obviously, there's a lot more to do than just that perspective.
Yeah.
So, if anything, Respawn's probably has a little bit more wiggle room and plus their attitude's been very much, in a way, screw EA in their past. They've said stuff that have been like really like, oh, you said that like right in front of EA's face. So it's they have an attitude, Respawn.
Whereas BioWare's kind of been broken.
Yeah, that's the sad part of it, because BioWare should really have
an attitude, but also not be with EA.
And have much better opportunities making amazing games, and hopefully they can figure out how their systems go on, work something out with EA. So that's a little sidebar from some Jedi Order, Jedi Fallen Order. Sorry, gotta say that right.
No, you don't.
I'm pretty excited about the game. I will not pre-order it at all. I will wait until it's out.
You're not a big pre-order guy, are you? When was the last time you pre-ordered something? A couple years ago, right?
Probably. I've been burnt too many times.
Last game I pre-ordered was Anthem, and I'm like, nope, not pre-ordering anymore. I'm done.
See, I've been burnt by situations like Anthem in the past, where I've been like, okay, I feel really cheated out of what I got, or what I paid for. So I'm sticking pretty highly to the no pre-order, except maybe possibly Borderlands 3, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, and that's a completely different
Game and developer and publisher.
And then there's
situation.
Yes.
Because you look at like anything with EA, I'm not pre-ordering anymore. I'm done with that. Borderlands 3, I might pre-order because Borderlands hasn't burned me yet. Like,
don't say yet.
2K has been very good to me.
Yeah.
Gearbox.
Actually, I'll probably keep pre-ordering like the WWE games.
Yeah.
Well, you're a diehard fan of WWE, so I don't expect
Die Hard.
Well,
I'm more Live Free.
Okay, I'll let you say that. So that was one of our first. You got anything else, Nick?
So it's funny because Trent and I are opposite ends of the spectrum, where she won't pre-order a game, and there's me. As soon as they announced it was E3 2018. I was like, okay, it's been pre-ordered for over a year now for me, and I'm still waiting for it. But again,
they also didn't say it's coming out.
No,
soon.
They were just like, it just said, end of this year. I'm like, okay.
End of this year, or end of 2018. When they announced it,
I think it said just end of 2019. Like,
oh, okay.
It's like I think it's November sometime.
November 13th this year.
Yeah, there we go.
Like if I remember correctly, they're not using the Frostbite engine.
They're not. They're using their own.
Yeah.
Which is,
or are they using something else?
it's really interesting that they're not doing that, because EA has been pushing for that pretty hard.
Yeah.
But again, Respawn does have this
attitude.
Screw EA attitude. So
Yeah, which is weird, and also at the same time,
it's working.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to complain about that.
I just want to know how well the games can do, because Respawn, I don't know. Most of the games I've played from Respawn have been multiplayer games, and this is true single player.
Okay, so let's look at Titanfall 2. That had a single player, and it was widely regarded as one of the best shorter shooter single players.
Yeah.
Say that again. Shorter shooter. Is that what you said?
Shorter in length,
No, I know what you mean.
You just want
a funny thing to say. Shorter shooter. It's a shorter shooter story.
But pretty much everybody and their mother really liked that story because it was super simple, well
Did
done.
the mothers like it? Mothers don't seem to like shooters that much.
I'm being you know what I mean. So yeah.
Yes, but I refuse to say it.
Yeah. But at the same time, that wasn't like a full single player game. They still had the multiplayer, which did help with the game as well. So it's like
I'm just thinking their success in that is a pretty good sign that they don't have nothing in regards to talent for stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this will be like a 15-hour campaign and that's a play and done situation, or like a 30 to 40-hour campaign. I don't know how they can do that, and I don't know how that their skills translate from a short 6-hour one to, a 25-hour long one. So that's where I'll give you, we don't know if that will succeed.
I don't know, I'm just waiting to see like a gameplay trailer.
Same.
So, and I'm hoping they do one at E3.
Most likely, yes.
I feel like that's the best time.
Yeah.
It's either sometime then or around then.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The next news bit is that Xbox has announced / I think released Xbox One S All Digital Edition, which is one that doesn't
have a disc drive, right?
It doesn't have a disc drive, and it's $50 less, at least $50 US less.
So it's about what, $70, $75 less Canadian.
I don't know it.
I don't know if that'll exactly transfer over. They might just say $50
it went down
less for every.
Oh.
In US dollars, it went down from $300 to $250,
which is honestly a really good price because if you think about it, brand new.
I'm a digital person,
but you still have disc.
I still have 3 discs, so if I could, get those games digitally, if I could trade them in, get the exact amount I needed to get them digitally, that would be perfect. But I don't think I can.
Just to let you guys know, they have stated that they're not going to be solely digital from now on. This is just like an option they wanted their customers to have, because there are people out there who will be like really happy not to have discs, and
people like me who just have discs left over from when they were given discs. Because like you got me Fallout 4 and.
Did I? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was because your brother got it or something like that.
Yeah,
and then he didn't want it, and I'm just like, I love the Fallout games. So
yeah,
I was super excited for that.
One thing I'll say is I've heard rumor that I think this is more a rumor than anything, that in the future, if they do have like a transition console that does do digital only, and you still have discs for it, for like maybe that platform that you can there might be like programs where you trade in the old one and get a code, so you still have the game. You don't have to re-buy it, but you trade in the disc. But who knows if that will exist or what will happen.
That would be nice, and I can definitely see that happening, but it's a pretty even 50-50, because if they make you buy it again, they get more money.
That
which they may also go for, which, I mean, they're a business. They're not giving away stuff for free because they can. They're a business. They have to make money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. It's basically just an Xbox One S, but without the
disc drive
at all. So they didn't change any shape of it, which was actually a really smart idea, because redesigning it would have cost them money, and they didn't want to do that. So yeah, that's basically all the news on that front.
If anything, I can see like a trade-in thing, and then you get a code for a discount on the game.
Probably. That's another possibility.
Which
and then,
is also better than paying another full price for that game.
Yeah.
And trading it in at EB Games for like $12 if you're lucky.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like for like older game, like if it's going to be like an older game, I don't know, like if they would do it for like backwards compatible games, like hey, I want to trade in. Let's say I just want to trade in Mass Effect. I don't know where I'm going with this. I blanked.
Why would you ever trade in Mass Effect?
I don't know. It's one game I thought of because it's backwards compatible.
Okay.
On Xbox. Anyways.
Also, the PlayStation 5, I don't know if it's backwards compatible for everything. It just says, from what I see, it's only backwards compatible for PS4.
No. We don't know that yet.
No, that's not guaranteed. That's just what I saw.
But speaking of PlayStation 5. That was going to be part of the next topic in the news. No, it's okay. You jumped the gun, but you didn't know that you jumped the gun.
It's a segue. I did it on purpose.
So I have 2 segments for the PlayStation 5. I have what has been confirmed via Sony, what the next console will be like. We're just calling it PlayStation 5, by the way, because we presume that's what it's called.
That's their naming convention for their consoles. If they change it now, that'd be really weird.
It's possible, though. So I have confirmed stuff, and then I also have some stuff that's been rumored. So we'll first go through the confirmed stuff. So the PlayStation 5 has a CPU based on AMD's Ryzen line. I don't know exactly what that is.
That's their processor unit. That's what I have.
Yeah.
The Ryzen.
And also,
it's nice. That's all I can say.
Also, GPU based on the Radeon Navi family of GPUs. This particular GPU is going to support ray tracing. So that's a lighting technology, or not exclusively lighting technology, but it allows, I think, lighting to be mapped out from a source. So lighting is supposed to be much better than what it normally is. I'm not a tech kind of guy or a software genius, so I don't know how these kind of parts really work. It's supposedly going to support 8K, which is pretty ridiculous. Knowing that out of us 3, only one of us has 4K. Nick, you have 4K.
Only one of us really cares about 4K.
And I don't even use it for console. That's the thing, because it's my PC monitor.
Mm-hmm. So this is pretty future-proofing the console, which is kind of a good thing to hear, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But that is quite the step forward, since I don't think 8K is really even available as a consumer product in any of the screens I know of.
Not that I've seen.
So that's going to be pretty interesting.
But, I mean, it is Sony, and Sony's usually the one who's on top of the game when it comes to, here's the best TV with the best graphics or, like, best lighting.
Because, Sony makes other stuff than just games, so they have a lot of that they can, like, support pretty easily. A lot of that information internally that they can just use, which is really, really good for them.
If I remember correctly, I believe Sony has had the best TV on the market for the last 3 or 4 years, if I remember.
Probably.
So,
I wouldn't know.
And
exactly.
if they're going to be releasing the PS5 with 8K, that means they're probably going to release a TV with 8K capabilities at some point around the same time or even a little bit before.
That would make a lot of sense to me.
Marketing wise, that's a smart idea. Where it's like, hey, you want to buy the PS5, but you want to play in your 8K? Oh, okay. A month before we release the console, here, buy this TV. Buy the $6,000 TV to play your PlayStation on. And you can see in 8K. Well, see. There's quotations, because most eyes can't see past 3K. Certain people can see 4, 5, even 6, but I don't think there's any way you can see past 6K from the sounds of it. Yeah, so
supports 8K.
40K.
It also is going to have a solid-state hard drive.
Yes.
It's supposed to have a really good one that's currently not available. And it's going to allow, incredible speeds. So, for example, in this interview, they had some examples of they had a PS4 and a PS5 or a dev build. Technically, it's a dev build, not a PS5. And they showed the Spider-Man. Yeah. And they did a fast travel from one area to another. And in the PS4 version, it took something like 16, 17 seconds.
Between 15 and 20 seconds.
To load into the next area. And then when they used the dev build, it was less than a second.
Yeah, it was literally immediate. Like, you saw him sit down on this, what was it, like a subway car? And then literally right back to a black screen, and you're in the next area. And it's like, oh. And I saw that video too, and it's like, on the dev build, the guy was already playing while the PS4 was still loading in, and it's like, really? That's pretty cool.
Like mentioned earlier, they are doing backwards compatibility, which is kind of like they're finally catching up to Xbox on that matter, because Xbox has been really, really good on that side of things. So yeah, with the back to the solid state drive, they say that this is going to be pretty insane for gaming, allowing, because, for example, back to the Spider-Man game, Spider-Man can only go so fast because of loading in the environment.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. How if you have an easier way of your console getting access to the memory and faster, where things are stored, it just becomes a much. You can do a bit more. You can have more things loaded in quicker, which could mean that in the next generation,
if you drill a hole in your hard drive, then the memory can escape easier and get to the rest of the console. So try that.
If this is going to be a normal thing, the SSD, we could have less, if not no, loading screens next generation.
Don't ignore my jokes.
But also,
well, you interrupted me, so I wanted to finish my line, and then that was a good job. Thank you.
But like going back to that, like with the SSD, like if it's gonna load things faster, that also mean maybe you'll have more faster paced games, you can have more enemies on screen because they'll be able to load them in faster too.
It could be.
I feel like that's gonna be revolutionary for.
Yeah, although
gaming.
Cross-platform games will have to still keep in mind the slowest version that they are on.
Yeah.
And go by that. So it could mean that we don't have any specs for the next Xbox, because none of that's been announced. So it could be, if the next Xbox is slightly slower, it could be that third-party titles on both of these consoles will go at the same speed as the next Xbox. Mm-hmm. If though the next Xbox is about the same, then maybe we can have very fast running games.
Yeah.
And very quick loading.
Instant Rocket League. Pew, pew.
I mean, that would be really fun.
That would be. But, like, thinking about it, like, when the Xbox One and the PS4 came out, like, PS4 was definitely better at that point in time. But then as soon as Xbox was like, hey, here's the Xbox One S, it's like, oh, this thing is actually so much better. I feel like that's going to be the same thing with the PS5 and the next Xbox. Like, it's going to be, okay, the new Xbox isn't going to be as good as the PS5, but then they're going to release another model and be like, hey, this is even better. We have 10K.
So, I don't know. Those are what have been confirmed by Sony. So that's really interesting. So the next part was someone, like a supposed developer, had released information on PlayStation 5, and so he had a lot of additional information as well as the current stuff we already talked about. So he was accurate on the stuff we talked about, but the stuff afterwards, we're not sure if he's accurate. So this is rumors. So some of the things he mentioned was that the PS5 would have a release. It would release either in March of 2020 or November of 2020.
That's such a huge gap.
Yeah, apparently they're still debating on this. According to this leak or rumor, they are still debating on which one they want to do. If I'm honest, if they do in March, they probably can get out faster than the possible next Xbox, which would give them a pretty big advantage of being able to have no competition, really build up the player base on the new release. Mm-hmm. And then another thing is they're planning to.
Of course, then there's people like us who will buy both.
If I have the money,
if it's worth it to buy both.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a lot more cross compatible, then I feel like
it will depend on the games. To be honest.
Also, they're planning to, alongside the PlayStation 5, release a new PlayStation VR, and they're could have called it PlayStation VR 2, also in
And then
the same year.
The next one that comes out is PlayStation VR, the pre-sequel. We know how this works now.
So yeah, I like that joke. This is
My
apparently
favorite gaming joke. I'll go back to it all the time.
This headset apparently is going to be wireless
Oh, finally.
and have a battery life about 4 to 5 hours.
45 minutes. Like, that's what I thought you were going to say. I was just like, wow, that's not great.
Okay, but even 4 to 5 hours, as a,
You shouldn't be in VR for longer than that, probably anyway.
I guess, yeah.
I think
It's a built-in like
I think if
protect your eyes thing.
I think if it's a 4 to 5 hours for being wireless, that's
pretty great.
good. I'd say that's pretty great.
I don't know how long. I've never done anything with VR, so I don't know how long I would even be able to wear it and be happy
Specs
before it becomes like I'm dizzy or I have a headache or I feel sick or something, because I do get motion sickness.
Apparently the specs are a lot better. There's a wider field of view, which is probably a good thing. Makes it more immersive. It's going to cost like $250 on its own, though.
That's... Yeah, that makes sense.
At least according to this rumor. Back to like the battery lifespan, I was thinking even like 3 hours would still be something that would be more worth it. If it gets any lower than that, I think it gets a little bit more annoying. A lot of like game session, take it off, charge it. Game session, take it off, charge it. With 4 to 5 hours, you could probably do like 2, maybe 3 game sessions before you have to plug it back in at low battery. At least that's my thought process. It is apparently the PS5 is going to cost $499 at a loss of $100 on them. This is, by the way, still the rumor part. That's a lot to lose on initial sales. Because usually consoles, for those who don't know, consoles will sell at a loss initially because the building and parts of a console will be expensive.
Yeah.
In the early stages, and they make their money back from games
And accessories.
Mm-hmm.
So
and as like
I guess we're hoping like, or maybe they're hoping like what kind of exclusives they can get. But I don't know if that's going to still. That's got to still be a thing.
Yeah,
like, that's not going to go away ever.
I feel like it will still be a thing. Like
even like we're gonna get cross compatible, but then we're still also going to get like
exclusives.
I'm trying to think like.
Yeah, I have some games that they also mentioned that I'll go over, but first, like, kind of going on this, $100 is really a lot. Like when looking up this and people's reactions to it, people are like, "This is a lot." Like for example, if you go to PS4, that actually made like, was it like $18 of a profit?
And they were happy with that. Like that's a
launch,
good thing
at launch. So that was probably a really good thing. But I'm pretty sure things like that, 5
times that losing.
But like I'm pretty sure that's a lot to lose. PS3 and like both Xbox One and 360. I think all of those. I don't know for sure, but probably sold at a loss. Probably around the same kind of number that the PS4 gained, I would say, or maybe even a bit more. But I think $100 is quite a bit. This could be hyperbole by the person because that's kind of. I feel like out of all this kind of information, that's kind of like pretty.
That's the most unsure,
or at least seems to be like most made up.
I don't know, but at the same time, it makes sense because they're using technology that isn't readily available, right?
That is true.
So it's like it's going to cost more, and until it's more common, it's not going to get any cheaper.
Yeah.
Unless like you can just go to Walmart and buy yourself an 8K monitor. But I don't see that right now.
So yeah, so reportedly a $500 console, at least that's $500 US, and they're losing $100 US per console when selling. So
$100. Original price is like $600 before their loss. That's like almost a 20% loss if you think about it.
It's a big one. And then let's move on to this guy has reported some games that are possibly coming out for it.
Knack 3.
No.
Knack 3, baby.
no Knack 3 on the reporting list. It's Gran Turismo
Half-Life
7.
4. They're going to skip 3 and go straight to 4.
Half-Life the prequel.
Pre-sequel.
The pre-sequel.
Go back to that joke. Anyways, what I said was Gran Turismo 7. And apparently that's also going to have some VR support.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
VR racing game seems like a bad idea in my mind.
It,
Because I feel like that's the most likely ones to give you motion sickness if you suffer from that already.
Well,
which I do.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like, even just racing games in general, like, if you're just sitting there and you're just like, okay, just watching the screen, it's like, you might get a little
Well, you
bit...
also sit like a foot away from your screen.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
Most of us sit, you know, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, but I don't get motion sickness. But, like, think about that, it makes sense. Because, like, I've seen videos of people in, like, the driving cockpits and, like, just the ones that are stationary and don't move. Like, you feel like you're in the car, but everything's just whizzing by your head on the screen. And you're just like, this is weird. When you get to the ones where they actually have, like, the whole seat moves with your car, I've seen a few videos where people will get off that and be like, yep, nope. They're down. They're puking up everything.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems like it'd be the...
It's because you don't have the forward motion, right?
I guess.
Whereas when you're in an actual vehicle, you have that forward motion for a vehicle going, so your brain's different.
I mean, that's how motion sickness works. It's a disconnect between what you see and what you feel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you have motion sickness, I wouldn't recommend doing VR. Because, like, a lot of the games that I've seen
Because that's the biggest disconnect between what you see and what you feel.
Yeah.
You see you're in a car and racing and going all over the place, and you feel... Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, the next game...
I mean, you may be excited, but, like,
the next
the feeling
game
is not like you're in a car.
Is an interesting one. Apparently, PUBG is getting a 4K remastered for the PS5 only.
Interesting.
For the release of PS5. Which I'm like, okay, you know, PUBG still, was it last year, still made like $1 billion. So
yeah, but
they're not necessarily down and out, but they're definitely not the new hotness or new great stuff.
I don't think they're going to do well, to be honest.
Who knows?
Because PUBG was doing great, and then Fortnite came out, and it's like, hey, literally, what was it, like 60% of the fan base went to Fortnite because Fortnite is free, right? First of all, free is better than paying $50 for a game.
So what you're saying is 60% of the people who already played PUBG and had paid that money decided to go to a free game because they didn't have to pay again.
Yeah.
There's also
they already own PUBG.
Yeah.
There's also microtransactions in both. That's why PUBG still makes money.
Yeah. But PUBG was also very glitchy in early access when they still had it.
In early access, it was glitchy.
It still was after early access, too.
I'm just like, it's supposed to be glitchy in early access. That's the point of early access, is to get those glitches out by community play.
But I feel like it's only going to be like diehard fans.
Like, I never played PUBG, so...
See, I've played...
I have access to it. I've never played it.
Yeah, I've played all of the battle, like the big 3 battle royale games, which is PUBG, Fortnite, and Apex Legends. I've played all of them, but it's like, eh. And if you want to throw in Black Ops 4, but
I don't.
Yeah.
So there's a couple more games.
What about Counter-Strike one? Counter-Strike Go
to the polls.
Ocelot, whatever it's called. Outbreak?
I don't know.
So the next game is The Last of Us 2 Remastered.
Oh, yes. That's right, there's a second one.
There's a second one. It's not even out yet.
I totally forgot that was the thing.
But they did this with The Last of Us 1 from PS3 to PS4. They just upped the res, said it was a remaster for PS4.
Got all that sadness in higher resolution.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ghost of Tsushima, which is also another game that remastered, which is also a game that hasn't released yet. So apparently that one's going to go for a remaster.
They're announcing remasters for games that aren't released.
This is all rumor.
Remaster the games that we have already. I want a remaster of KOTOR 1 and 2.
I would love that, because I haven't played those games.
So good.
I would love to try them. And then the last one, this is like the biggest sort of plot twist I think I've heard about this, is apparently Sony is paying big money to get a 1 month exclusive on
Mario Kart 9.
GTA 6. A month exclusive launch for the PS5. Apparently.
So kind of like what
But-
was the Epic Games is doing with Borderlands 3 on PC.
Yeah, but only a month as opposed to 6 months.
Yeah.
That's if GTA
I mean, what
6
are the
is
selling
coming out
points
yet.
for GTA 6?
Hmm?
What are the selling points for GTA 6? Does it
Apparently-
have another online thing like GTA 5?
Apparently it's going to have like 2 cities and rather than just one.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Because wasn't it you're going to be able to go between Vice City and like San Andreas or something?
Yeah, I
Something
think
like
so.
that.
Something like
I
that.
saw something online, but I didn't really get into it.
What a terrible name for a city.
What?
Vice City.
It's just a fictional city.
Well, yeah, but so is San Andreas and Los Santos, and they have better names. Vice City, the city of vices. Come here for your drugs and women.
Sure, why not?
Okay, but
That's what it is. That's
mean,
exactly
yeah.
what it's. Why it's called that. It's it's like a knockoff of Las Vegas, isn't it?
yeah.
Because like Los Santos is Los Angeles, San Andreas is probably San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all based on real cities.
Yes. But yeah, so some people did like some crazy math on this, and like they would have had to spend multiple
Billions.
hundreds of millions to get this one exclusive
But still,
for 1 month, and it would actually be pretty.
It's a smart move.
It would be pretty
it'd
strong.
be profitable for Sony, not necessarily for.
No, Sony's the one paying exclusive for this. It would be profitable for 2K.
It's
Yeah.
profitable for Sony
Take-Two.
because there's people who probably because they get to play it a month earlier.
Okay.
Then they'll buy it
They'll,
on
they'll,
Sony.
they'll get it
PS5.
earlier, but Sony will might not really make this money back right away.
Well, no, but then there's the people who don't,
But there's the people
who are like diehard Xbox fans, who won't get it on PlayStation. So then they're losing that
but
1 month of possible profits
That's
from
what-
them,
see that's
like
what
the
they,
Rockstar is.
yeah, that's what hopefully Rockstar and those guys are. They, if the calculations are correct, they'll gain that money from Sony, and Sony will gain all the people who are on the fence of which console to buy. Oh, this one has GTA 6. I'm gonna get that because GTA made over $1 billion in the first like 2 days.
Yeah, GTA is just crazy.
Anyways,
Guitar.
so those were the rumors that I had, and that's about it for the news. News went really long today, but there's a lot of good like comments and speculation.
Yeah.
Groovy.
All right.
Okay.
What is next?
Well, probably favorite of.
And what is our topic for what is the favorite of we're doing today?
Our favorite of. Genre.
Game drama?
What is your favorite game genre? Nick, go first.
Okay, give me a second.
I'm tired of hearing Trenton's voice.
So
Sorry about that.
this is probably going to come.
I'm also joking too.
This is probably going to come as a big surprise. My favorite game genre is hack and slash.
Huh.
Doubt it.
Okay, but dive into it. It's mostly because like a lot of like, yes, turn-based strategy is fun, RPGs are fun, racing is fun, but I love hack and slash where it's just like, okay, I can push buttons and literally just destroy anything, go mindless and kill.
You can do that in real life too.
Yeah, but it's not really legal or acceptable in real life, so that's why I'd rather do it in a video game. Like the main games that kind of, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Like the games that have this genre that I play, I guess, and kind of made it my favorite genres like Darksiders, Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, the Deadpool game, like games like that. Like it's just fun. Like you just go around and it's like, okay, let's just mash buttons.
Are those hack and slash games?
Yeah, they are all hack and slash games. I looked this up already. Whereas, like, the Deadpool one and Darksiders are more of a hack and slash adventure RPG.
Still hack and slash.
Still hack and slash. But then, like, Dynasty Warriors, Hyrule Warriors, Warriors Orochi, that's more just hack and slash. Just basic hack and slash. Because if you think about it, you're just one guy and you're just going in. It's like, hey, okay, 200 guys, okay, cool.
You underestimate my power.
But I have
It's
purchased
pretty
the high
easy.
ground.
It's pretty easy to get to 1,000 kills in those games.
Oh, it's not that hard. Like, there was one match in Hyrule Warriors where I definitely reached 10,000. That's also because I was avoiding Ganondorf the whole time. So,
Matt, do you want to go next, or should I go next?
I can go next.
Okay.
My favorite genre is RPG, and you should know this by now, based on everything I've ever said ever.
so what were you saying? I've been ignoring you this whole time.
I think you should shut up, is what I've been saying. Yeah, RPG, definitely, to get really specific, it's like high fantasy RPG. Third person is better because I love seeing my character if I make them. If I don't make them, then I don't care, but I don't tend to play games where I don't make a custom character. Yeah. Bonus points for romanceable characters because I'm a lonely person. I need love.
It's like dialogue choice games, in a way.
Do you like dialogue choice?
Yeah.
Don't you
Is
just
it
wish
needed
was
in this genre for you, or are you okay with something that's more linear in story-wise? There's one story, one outcome. You still have a custom character. You can still do the romance stuff. Hypothetical.
Without the romance stuff... With romance stuff, can you do that without dialogue choices?
I'm not saying, like, not major plot-changing dialogue.
Yes, dialogue choices are necessary.
Okay.
It's like real life. You can't really get a significant other.
I
without
thought I
talking
told you
them.
to shut up.
Sorry, I haven't been listening to you.
Oh my goodness, you two. These two are so funny.
Hey, Nick. You listening?
Ow.
Okay.
I hit his hand. Don't worry. It's not like I slapped him across the face. I don't know if that picked up, but...
I can vouch for that, too. He only hit the hand.
Anyway, Trenton, can you tell Nick to shut up?
Okay, both of you, can you please be quiet while I
That's not what I asked.
I don't care. I don't care.
You can tell me to shut up. I'm okay with that, but also tell Nick to shut up.
I told both of you at the same time.
No, you told us to please be quiet.
Okay, both of you.
Be
shut
rude.
Up. Both of you shut up.
Thank you.
Okay.
If you would please tell us your favorite genre.
It would be more of the first-person shooter. If I could, as Matt did, I would make it more so first-person shooter with RPG mechanics and loot. More along the lines of Borderlands than like Destiny or Division. I rather play something like Borderlands more often than those, but not that I don't like them. This would be the first-person shooter RPG, as I think Gearbox coined it for Borderlands. I like those games the best, or genre of games. And that would be my answer.
That would have been your answer?
That is my answer.
Okay.
That would be my answer.
If that would have been your answer, what's your real answer? I like dating sims.
That's what I was going to say too. RTSs.
So you're listening to me now, are you?
Oh.
What?
Okay.
So you're speaking in my deaf ear.
Although, not to like jump on your thing, what you were saying, just because I like talking, and what you said I thought was interesting, how you like Borderlands more than Division or Destiny. Whereas I would actually say the opposite. I prefer the other two because they have more visual loot and stuff like that changes how you look.
Okay.
But I'm not saying you're wrong. You are wrong, but I'm not saying that.
But let's be fair.
I've always been a visual, make my character look as cool as possible, and you're just like, what's awesome?
Let's be fair.
No.
Borderlands 2 did not have nearly as much customization as you wanted.
Oh, definitely not.
But Borderlands 3, we have yet to see. We have yet to see whether or not the customization has been expanded, which I'm pretty sure it has.
If it has, my thoughts would be like you get like the head customization, the color customization, but then also like body customization, but not like sliders or anything. Like it's the same thing with the head customization where you choose one, but then there's also like a list of like various bodies or something.
Yeah.
That's what my thought would be, but
who knows? We haven't seen it yet.
I'm
May
excited
1st,
to actually find out.
May 1st, we'll find out.
Because those games
something.
are actually really fun. It's just
Wait,
not as much customization.
No, that's
as I
when
want.
they do a live stream
more information.
and show off
Is what
actual
we'll get.
gameplay. Which I'm so excited about.
Actual gameplay. Okay.
Actual gameplay. That would be another news thing. Jump back to news. Back to you, man.
Wah!
Back to me. Back to being done. That was our episode of SquareTable Weekly. Episode... I think it's 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So, yeah. That's SquareTable Weekly for this week.